Hey there! Have you ever stopped to think about a word like himself and realized it can mean two totally different things depending on how you use it? It's like a little puzzle hidden in plain sight. Well, today we're going to solve it. We're looking at the two faces of words that end in self. By the end of this, you'll see the difference instantly. So let's get right into it.
Okay, let's jump straight to the main event. Look at these two sentences. He hurt himself, and he himself said so. They look almost the same, right? They both use himself. But, and this is the key, that one little word is playing a completely different role in each sentence. So, what is the difference? That's the big question, and it's exactly what we're going to break down right now.
First, let's get the official term out of the way. The source material calls these compound personal pronouns. All that means is you take a personal pronoun like my or your or them, and you stick self or selves on the end. You get myself, yourself, themselves. Easy, right? But this is where the fun starts.
You see, these words are living a kind of double life. They have two completely separate jobs they can do in a sentence. Think of it as one word, but with two different functions. Let's meet the first one.
We're going to call the first function the mirror. And honestly, that's the perfect way to think about what this type of pronoun does.
So a mirror pronoun is all about reflection. The action of the sentence, the verb, is done by the subject, and it turns right back around and lands on that same subject. The person doing the action is also the one receiving it. It's just like looking in a mirror. What you send out comes right back at you.
Take a look. I hurt myself. Who did I hurt? Myself. The action starts with I and reflects straight back. Same for she hurt herself or they hurt themselves. In every single one of these, the subject doing the verb and the object receiving it are the exact same person or group.
And here's the grammar rule behind it, straight from our source. These pronouns are essential. They're acting as the object of the verb. You can't just say, she hurt. The sentence feels broken, incomplete. You need that object, herself, to catch the action. And because the action reflects, we call this a reflexive pronoun.
Okay, on to job number 2. If the first function is a mirror, this one is the spotlight.
Now, a spotlight pronoun couldn't care less about reflecting an action. Its only job, its whole purpose, is to add emphasis. It shines a big, bright spotlight on the subject to say, hey, pay attention. This is the one I'm talking about.
For instance, if you say, I will do it myself, you're really stressing that you are the one doing it, no one else. Or he himself said so. That adds weight, meaning the info came straight from the source. And if we saw the Prime Minister himself, well, that himself adds that little bit of awe and surprise.
So how do you know for sure it's a spotlight? Well, I've got a super simple trick for you. The removal test. Just take the word out. I will do it. See? The sentence is still perfectly fine. The core meaning is exactly the same. All you lose is that little bit of emphasis. And that's the dead giveaway.
All right, it's time for the main event. Let's put the mirror and the spotlight in a head-to-head comparison so this becomes absolutely crystal clear.
So here's the whole thing in a nutshell. The mirror, the reflexive pronoun, is essential. It's the object of the sentence, and its job is to reflect the action. You can't take it out. But the spotlight, the emphatic pronoun, is totally optional. It's just there for emphasis, and you can always remove it. Remember that. Mirror is essential, spotlight is extra.
Okay, you know the theory. You've got the mirror versus spotlight idea, and you've got the removal test in your back pocket. Let's see how you do with a couple of examples.
First one up. The boys hid themselves. What do you think? Is themselves a mirror or a spotlight here?
Go on, have a think.
If you said mirror, you got it. The action, hiding, reflects right back onto the subject, the boys. Themselves is the essential object here. You can't just say the boys hid.
All right, let's try another one. I will go myself. Is myself a mirror or a spotlight? Don't forget to use the removal test.
What's your verdict?
That is 100% a spotlight. It's just there for emphasis. If we take out myself, the sentence, I will go makes perfect sense. The word just adds that extra punch to the I.
So you've pretty much mastered the two big jobs of these words. But our source material leaves us with one last really interesting twist.
Think about this famous quote, "To thine own self be true." Notice what's happening here. The word self isn't attached to my or him or anything else. It's just self. It's standing all on its own, acting like a noun. It's become a concept, a thing.
And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. We've seen self as a mirror reflecting action, and as a spotlight adding emphasis. But what does it say about our language, and maybe even how we think, when that little word self can break free and become its own thing entirely? A noun, an idea, an identity. Something to be true to. It's a pretty deep idea to end on. Thanks for digging into it with me.